Hey everyone, welcome to All Growth. This is episode number 6, All Energy, the Essence of Life. I'm your host, Alvaro Gamboa. Thank you so much everyone for coming through, for paying us another visit. All Energy, the essence of life, the very essence of life, y'all. For now, I want to plant some seeds in us and let's introduce what I want to talk about for today's episode regarding energy. The thing with energy, a lot of people don't understand is that all things are energy. This universe is all energy. We are all energy. And that means the physical things that you see, whether that be yourselves or objects or materials like that, it's energy. Energy has been poured into them, poured into us as well, and then they become about other things. The physical is not really physical, it's just these atoms, these molecular atoms, they're vibrations at all times. That's what energy really is at the end of the day. If we really want to look at it, this episode, I want to forewarn you and trigger warn you, we getting real sciencey with it. If you have some issues with science yourself, I know there's a big issue with science going on in today's society. I don't think this is the episode for you. We're going to use science today to help us understand everything past what science has taught us, because science doesn't even have full understanding about this universe. We barely have an understanding about universe ourselves. I just want us to take the atom really quick. Let's take the atom. And the atom's been discovered. It's been around. It's like the building block of atom. There's nothing smaller than that, supposedly. Later on, people go ahead and divide the atom even more. The atom is now made of protons, neutrons, electrons. These are the building blocks of an atom, so these are the building blocks of life. Now, the thing I want you to all understand is that they're just energy. Protons are positive energy, neutrons are negative energy, electrons are neutral energy, and these are all just energy. It's energy at the end of the day, and we think these are the smallest blocks of matter. Fast forward to today, the proton is being broken up into smaller pieces, smaller and smaller and smaller pieces. We have quarks and gluons, and these are the names of it, but all this to say, science doesn't really know the full grasp of it. No matter how deep we dive, how far we zoom in, we'll never understand. It goes deeper than physical parts. This is all quantum physics that we're dealing with. It's just energy at the end of the day. While we could break up the electron to the electron field and the nucleus, that electron is being broken down now today into a positron. So electrons and positrons, but it's all energy at the end of the day. Even like when we get an understanding of how atoms work and the insides of an atom and the insides of protons and electrons, what we got to understand is that we don't know the full grasp of it. We don't have a full grasp. We don't see the full scope of things. We still are getting the entire picture of what this universe has for us. And that's important to understand, because once we accept that everything around us is just energy, no matter if it's a human being, animal, some other form, it's all energy at the end of the day. Once we begin to understand that we're just vessels of vibrating energy, carrying it within us, we can now start to begin to see how we are affecting everyone's energies and how everyone's energies are affecting us, and how we're more connected than we actually think. Those are the seeds that I want to plant in us today, and I think now is a great time to go on over to the garden. Stopping by the garden today, the Growth Garden is this space that we've created for businesses to thrive, for me to put you on game after being put on game. It's about these great small businesses, whether they be black or brown. Special shout out to today's sponsor. Today's Growth Garden sponsor is Posh Faces. I want to shout out to the Blueprint Beard Kit. If you head on over to Posh Faces, you can go ahead and grab that for yourself, for your dad, for your brother, for your uncle. And actually, I've been using it myself, and my beard has been gaining nothing but lusciousness, beautiful texture and firmness to it. What I want us to understand about the Blueprint Beard Kit from Posh Faces is that not only is it gonna come with your choice of either lavender and sage beard oil or cedarwood and sandalwood beard oil, it's also gonna come with a Blueprint wax, a pomade for your beard, also a 2-in-1 Blueprint beard shampoo and conditioner, so you can make sure you're clean, you're sexy, you're suave, you're just all types of handsomeness. If you guys head on over to poshfaces.com and you can use our promo code GROWTH, 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 for a 10% discount on your entire purchase. Head on over to Posh Faces, use the promo code GROWTH for a 10% discount on your order. So for today's water and light, if we're planting seeds, we have to give them some water and light. So we have to add the things that are needed for growth. What we need right now is to understand these laws of energy. I told you we was gonna get sciencey up in this. So what I want us to focus on today is something that we passed up in high school, or like middle school, and science classes, even in college. Basic theories and laws of quantum physics, of the energy of the world we don't fully grasp outside of like a classroom, outside of like a lab, outside of these academic spaces. Well, we can use these laws and apply them to ourselves in our everyday lives. I want us to talk about the 3 laws of thermodynamics. These laws of thermodynamics, they're absolute physical laws. These are taught to us, these are proven time and time again, and this is something that is universally accepted. And I'm glad it's universally accepted because once we can understand these, we can universally understand energy. Now, the first one is the most famous one, the most important one. Let me break it down to you word for word. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Law of conservation of energy. That's the first thing. This law says that energy can't be created or destroyed. It's conserved in one way, shape, or form. Energy can be transferred or changed from one form to another. So you can't destroy energy. You can't create it. It's already here. All the energy in the world is in the world already. There's no more that's going to be poured in, and there's none that's going to be poured out. There's no waste in any of this. So once we understand that, we can take this law of thermodynamics and apply it into our energy, ourselves, who we are, and how we go about our spaces. So we can talk about things and we can start to understand concepts of transmutation, transformation, transcendence. These things are all about change, all about creating, having this one form of energy and then transforming it into another form of energy. It's about changing from one form to another. When you have energy within you, you can't destroy it. You can't relinquish it. It's there already, so it must be addressed. It must have a proper outlet. So with that energy, what we can do is a second law of thermodynamics, and I'll explain it for you very briefly. The second law of thermodynamics states energy flows from high to low. It's the entropy of the universe. So the entropy is just form of the chaotic system. It's ultimately an isolated system. The entropy of the universe only increases and never decreases, meaning that energy passes from one high concentration to one lower concentration. So if we take that energy and apply it to ourselves, we could say someone with a full cup whose cup runneth over is able to have a positive energy about them because their cup runneth over, is then able to pour into someone else who may have a lower energy, whose cup may be half empty, or they might not even see the blessings around them and the abundance around them. That transfer happens from hot to cold too, in terms of like heat, just thermodynamics, right? Energy is going to go from a hot place to a cold place, which is why it's easier to be in a hot place than it is a cold place. For me, I'm a tropical boy, so it's easier for me to be a little hot because the energy is going to transfer. So this is the second law of thermodynamics, and we could just apply that to ourselves. We can understand that when we're a positive energy, we're going to transfer our positive high energy, our blessings, onto another person from a high concentration to a lower concentration. Once we can understand these principles, it'll make it easier for us to be healed, to heal others, to see energy all around us and be thankful for that energy too. Third law of thermodynamics is not the most well known and it's the most sciencey, I guess you could say. I'll just read it out for you out loud. The entropy of a bounded or isolated system becomes constant as its temperature approaches absolute temperature, which is absolute zero. What that means is all objects have energy that can be calculated and accounted for. So all the energy is there, there's none that's not accounted for. Now, what this implicates is that entropy, the deterioration of energy, the chaos in the world, is forever constant until all the energy in that system reaches zero. So essentially, chaos is with us until we are no longer, until we are gone. If we take it out of this academic structure, if we take it out of this very laboratorical and academic view of entropy and chaos, this third law actually will help us understand things. Life is messy, fam. Life is chaotic. There's always going to be some shit going on. There's always going to be some obstacle in your way. But we must remember, there has to be chaos, there has to be this messiness, or else there wouldn't be any world, that we would be no longer. So embrace that chaos. I feel like that's what me understanding the third law of thermodynamics is letting me know, is that messiness, that chaos has to be embraced. You gotta face the tough stuff. You gotta go in the mud. You gotta be in the trenches. At some point or another, it's gonna happen. You gotta apply that pressure to you. You gotta get some divine pressure. I would say you have to have some form of stress. Now, before I would say I needed to have some form of stress, or I needed to have this stress about me, or like get these things done. I needed that chaos within my life. The thing is that you have chaos, but you don't need to have that chaos within you. When, not even if, when you're going to face some chaos in the world, it's important not to stress out about it. It's important to see that this is here to test you. It's here, so you got to embrace it. What that means is going ahead, embracing it head on, and understanding that it's not really stress, more so like I've made the mindset shift to see it as divine pressure. This is divine pressure testing you and testing your abilities to go ahead and deal with chaos head on. And you gotta understand, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. So even if this weapon formed against us comes up against us, this chaos comes and tries to mess with us, it ain't happening, fam. Like, it's not, there's no way. It's divinely mentioned. It's in the divine that, like, it's not going to win. We are above this, of course. It's a part of the world, but we're above it, and we don't need to fear it. We don't need to run away from it. We don't need to abandon it. It's there for us to embrace it. So why don't we go ahead and embrace it? Some more insights that I want us to gather is that since now we've broken down these 3 laws of thermodynamics, what essentially that means is we can feel and see energy. There are people that walk this earth that can feel and see energy. If you're of the spiritual realm, you understand that people have energy fields around them, an aura, a vibration around them. That is true in essence. You put out into the world what you give in. In understanding that, we can understand that there are people that see and feel the energy around them, the energy with complete strangers, those closest to them. These are what we call empaths. Empathic people have that unique ability to be able to see and sense and feel your energy. I myself, I feel like I'm empathic. I didn't know that until recently, and so I started going about my spiritual journey myself and seeing that I can sense when other people's energies are a bit off. I can gather when other people's energies are affecting me, or even when I'm in a room full of strangers or on a subway car full of strangers. We can see and feel energy, simply put. So that means that when your energy is off, know that there are people in this world that can pick up on that can sense it. It might not approach you about it, they might not speak about it, but it's there. It's definitely there. When you get to start acting weird, or people say that you changed up or something must be bothering them, that might be from the energy that you're putting out spiritually, just energetically, through your vibrations. You might not have said nothing with your mouth, with your tongue, but people feel that. It might be in your body language. There's certain body languages and postures that we adapt to because the energy within us dictates that. Even like no one is immune to that. It's everyone, because we are all energy. From your loved ones to a complete stranger, we all are able to put out energy into the world, not create it nor destroy it, just put out our own energy, and people can see and feel and sense that energy. Be mindful of your surroundings, the people you put yourself around. What is important to understand is that when you can see and feel energy, you can begin to heal others, heal yourself, find these healing practices to balance out your energy, to be able to heal within yourself and have the ability to heal others as well. It's a beautiful thing, and I highly recommend everyone start getting on that healing journey. And the last bit of insight that I want us to understand is that energy is definitely within us. It's all around us, and it's within us in a sense of emotions. Emotions, if we break it down, are just energy in motion. If our emotions and this energy comes and goes, that means it flows. Things will pass, things will go. Once we understand that our emotions is just energy in motion, it becomes way easier to handle our emotions, to address our emotions, and to be able to heal and cure ourselves of some bad emotions. Once we understand that this too shall pass, what ends up happening is our emotions become clouds and skies. These hubs of energy that are just going to pass through with the wind, with the sea breeze, with the air. It's out there now, so it's no longer ours to deal with, and it's past. In our journey, as with everyone's journey, we come across some problems. These are what I like to call the weeds. When you're in the weeds, you're stressed out. There's a lot of things that are growing that you didn't expect there to be, and you got to take them out. And it's a lot of energy that it takes to pluck out these weeds, to get out of the weeds. Some weeds that face us when we're talking about energy is that energy needs a proper outlet, which I spoke about earlier. Energy needs that proper outlet, because if you are suppressing your emotions, if you're bottling things in, if you're not letting this energy within you release in a proper way, in a positive way, in a healthy way, they are going to come back to bite you in the ass. It's just law. You know what I'm saying? It's going to go ahead and do some damage. It's going to hurt. The most important tools that you can have for that proper outlet, I feel like, would be reflection and inflection. So reflection and inflection. When I'm talking about reflection, I speak about reflecting back on the past, the day that just happened, the week that just passed, the month, reflecting over time and addressing how this time period, or this situation, this circumstance affected your energy, affected your emotions, what your actions were. Now also falls into inflection. Now, inflection is looking inward as to why these situations and circumstances triggered these emotions, this certain energy about. So when you inflect, you're looking inward as to seeing what was the issues, what caused this, and how can we cure this, how can we heal this so it doesn't happen again. With reflection and inflection, that's necessary for everyone's growth, but that's not really talked about. It's not really promoted as much. Some reflective and inflective meditation is definitely needed. Prayer as well, just looking in and looking back and being able to say, maybe this wasn't the right way, or this definitely was the right way, do more of that. Oh, I wasn't feeling the way that happened, address that, and be able to learn from these experiences so that this energy does gain a proper outlet or bridge, so that this energy can get a bridge to release and say, oh, this is where my energy is supposed to go. So I got that. And then it's handled and addressed properly and it doesn't hurt everyone anymore. Now, with suppressing and bottling up your emotions, you're essentially ignoring and neglecting your energy. That's the energy within you, which leads to trouble as a byproduct and a direct result. Remember, chaos and entropy is in the universe. If you ignore that chaos, if you ignore that entropy, it's trouble just waiting to happen. If you neglect all of that, what happens? If you neglect your energy or the energy of others, you're bound to experience, or you're bound to witness, mood swings, outbursts, temper tantrums. One rule that I definitely stick by is hurt people. They're not in the space to recognize the hurt within them, so they're definitely not in the space to recognize how they themselves can hurt others. You're asking someone with their head in the sand to see the sun. It's not gonna happen. I definitely am a victim of that as well. In my youth, there's times where I was hurt, as with everyone, and I took it out on the wrong people. I released this energy in the wrong outlets, doing things that in the moment I thought were right, just, fair, but they weren't looking back. After a moment or several sessions or several years even of reflection and inflection, there comes a time where you have to recognize I was ignoring and neglecting the energy within me, the hurt energy within me, and that caused me to hurt others as a direct result, as a byproduct. Not being aware of your own energy is another weed, brother. Like, not being aware of your own energy means you're unaware of how you affect others and how others are affected by you. So here you are walking around this vessel of just negative energy, this vessel of just hurt energy without a proper outlet. You're gonna hurt others, and the more you hurt others, the more others are just going to hurt you. It's the universal law, right? Properly respecting, I want to say, the chaos in the world and the chaos within us allows for a lot of fucked up shit to happen. Plainly put, there's not a moment of damage and harm that gets done in this world where I don't sit and see that this energy does things to people and will continue to do things to people if it's not addressed, if it's not something that's spoken about, and if it's not something that we make abundantly clear, this is something that we need to focus on and heal. Because if we don't do that, what's gonna happen? More people are gonna be hurt. And I'm not just talking about this lifetime, I'm talking about our kids, our grandkids, and people off in hundreds of years. This energy that we've put about us, that we've brought forth, that we've put out into the world, it's gonna keep damaging us. And I'm not focused on anything that's focused on damaging or destroying does not have my attention. So I feel like, as real people, we have to be able to address this energy within us, understand energy, and then from there the sky is the limit. That about wraps it up for today's episode, everyone. It's time to harvest and let's collect our insights. I've loved talking about energy with y'all. Understand that some things that we have learned, or I hope that you've learned while here with me, is that energy is all around us and within us. Once we understand that we are all energy is within us, we are more connected than we can ever think about to every single entity in this world. We're more connected than we have been led to believe. Some things that I hope you can take with you is that it's important to harness and control your energy. It's important to give that energy a proper outlet, because if you don't control your energy will control you. Another thing I want you to take is that people that are aligned energetically, they are in sync with their own energy. They're able to be in sync with the energy of others and the world. They can empathically sense and see your fields of energy, the energy that you're giving out into the world. That's something that's there for them to pick up on. While here, I've hoped you gained a newfound way to view the world and appreciate our relationship to it in terms of our energy, and enhance your relationship with energy. Seeing everything as energy allows for a much more peaceful and smoother passing and flowing of energy. And once you recognize that these energies, these emotions are going to pass and they will and they will come and go, it allows for much easier permission to surrender and to release. And the last thing is I'm really a big advocate of growing, and with this episode discussing energy, I hope that you have grown in understanding how we can be more empathetic with others, gaining these tools to be able to say that we can be in tune with our emotional body so that we could be able to align our own energies and become our best self. That about wraps it up for today's episode, everyone. Thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review. Recommend it. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Shit, we could do this every weekend. Thank you so much for being here in this space and time with me, everyone. Until next time, keep growing, keep glowing, keep going.